Hi guys, welcome back. All right, so this is going to be a single storyline. Usually always release these on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Technically, I am recording this a little bit early, but it'll still be released in the wee hours of the morning on Friday, okay? But I'm recording it on Thursday because I didn't want to put this out late. That's been happening lately, and I like these to come out at an earlier time. So, you know what? As I speak about this, I want to go ahead and actually start out with a different deck. I feel compelled for a tall deck. Maybe somebody wants a tall glass of water. I don't know. I don't know why I want to say that, but we've got the Five of Cups. Well, that would be somebody who's thirsty. Okay, they may be thirsting after whoever lives in that castle. This is a single storyline. We don't expect it to bring up exes, but we definitely have somebody with melancholy standing on the other side of this bridge feeling like, I don't know that I can cross that bridge and go back to that castle. And I'm real damn sorry about that. What's that about? Who thinks that they can't cross the bridge to go back to our single individual? Moon card, Ace of Wands. Well, first off, our single character doesn't even know about this. Our single character could have Piscean energy, Cancerian energy, water energy to them, or it's just that they are a wonderful emotional person, but they don't really show their emotions very much. Certainly not to this individual, whomever this is, who is standing over here feeling like a chump for feeling like they can't cross the bridge and come back into this beautiful castle. So the castle must be where our lead character lives. Who wouldn't want to go back and visit the castle, right? But they don't feel like they can. And it's the whole kingdom that they've been kicked out of. So this could be a friend that our lead character has said bye-bye, and they don't realize that that lead character is perhaps grieving the fact that they have been kicked right out. I really don't think that our lead character is aware of this, nor aware of just how much passion they truly have to try to come back in. Why are they so sad? I don't understand. Page of Coins. Well, this person was always trying to push their way into things. This could have been somebody who's very bossy, but they it's ineffective also. Like they would boss or push their way in inopportune times. It was just like, no, you haven't earned the right to try to tell everybody how it's going to be. But they maybe still tried to do that, even though they didn't have enough knowledge. This could have been somebody too big for their britches, basically. It could have been somebody who, see, Seven of Swords. And they might have been very jealous. They might have been a bit of a know-it-all. They might have been somebody that consistently, I just see a lot of jealousy with this particular Seven of Swords. They acted like this kind of a frenemy, but they got themselves booted right out of the kingdom. This could have been a false friend. This could have been somebody who they secretly were like, they want to take over and, like live somebody else's life, but they didn't build that life, or they want to take over and get to be in charge, when it's like, well, you're not in charge, because the single individual who's the lead character in this story is in charge because they earned their right to be there. And I feel like this person was, they got themselves basically kicked right out the door, because you can't act like that, Chariot. And this could have been a situation where it was slow for our lead character to detach from them, or slow for our lead character to just kind of stop talking to them, or shut them out, or close a door on them. But they know that this happened, and they know that the lead character's already moved on. This does suck. Our lead character keeps coming across as somebody very patient, especially with their emotions. They don't make hot-headed decisions. Yeah, Page of Swords. It really took some time and gathering information to notice, okay, I'm not wrong. This person who's in my energy field is kind of a bit of a frenemy. They want to be around me, but at the same time, they seem to always want to push in the wrong direction. They seem like they're faking that they're nice, when I think that they're actually kind of greedy, or they're out for themselves somehow. I think it's a good time to part ways, because I've watched it long enough to know that what I'm seeing is a real deal. I'm not tripping, and I've learned it, and I'm not going to unlearn it and pretend I don't see what I see. So I let them go. So our lead character, they watched this person carefully. And while it's unfortunate, I feel like they're just relieved that they they can in good conscience let this person go. So of course we have to ask though, why is that person still sitting over there, like they're feeling really sad that they can't be in our character's life right now. But sometimes that's a good thing, right? Because if we didn't have those emotions, the World card, we got the Eight of Swords. They have to start over, but hopefully they'll better themselves. Having disappointment, knowing that they got booted out of our lead character's life because they just couldn't seem to get beyond themselves, their pettiness, their jealousy, whatever it was. This is their learning moment where they need to change their ways, but they still kind of sit here mostly just stuck saying, but I don't want it to be this way. Yes, but until you change your ways, you're going to keep getting kicked out. Like that's kind of the lesson for them to learn there. Okay, so let's move on. If our single individual has let them go, where's our single individual shifting their focus to now? The moon again. Interesting. Our single character has the moon out twice, which can be not confusion, but rather things that are not really seen yet, things that are not really clear. By the way, we do have some night blooming datura here, and then we also have some lilies. Lilies represent family. I don't know, it's just a side note. There's something that our character cannot see right now, but there's also this positive energy that's coming along with it, right? Something family related, even though our lead character got a Queen of Swords and we got a King of Wands. So they're blind to this. That's what the message is. Our lead character is simply blind to this. They don't realize that they're about to become either pursued by someone. They are looked at as someone who's truthful, somebody who has courage to put up good boundaries. They're seen as a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but they are. We have a king over here, a King of Wands, who is extremely intrigued. Also, I feel like our character kind of walks in a little bit of mystery. I feel like they don't necessarily, I'm picturing this as somebody who's very self-possessed. If somebody walks up and says something to them, even something rude, I feel like they take a moment to process it. They take a moment to make sure that they heard it right. They may even respond in a non-confrontational way. And then if the person continues, at some point they probably say, hey, I hope you go someplace else and have a better day. We can't have a conversation with this level of intensity. And they just walk off, or whatever. I don't know. That's a really great way to handle something. I'm sure there's better responses than that. It could be something as simple as, how disappointing. And then that's it. I've been known to say, how charming, and then walk. It's just a nice way to close it while not, putting too much energy out there of like, wow, that's really out of line, and blah, 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 blah. I feel like our character is really good about not sassing, even though I am the queen of sass. I just feel like this character has a really lovely way of conducting themselves. Good boundaries, good communication, slow to frustration, slow to anger. And that is catching the eye of a very fiery king. So I'm wondering if this king actually observed them closing out this chapter and saying goodbye to this person, closing that initial person who's out there boohooing that they can't be a part of our lead character's life anymore. I wonder if this king observed how they closed that cycle, and that could be part of the reason they're like, wow, that was graceful. That's seriously attractive to see somebody handle a difficult situation and without, vulgarity, animosity, anything that's just, they diffuse a situation and also stand strong. Wow. Yeah, that totally turned on this king. This king is very turned on by the way someone conducts themselves in the face of conflict. We've got Ace of Coins and we got the Five of Wands. This is something where I gotta say, I almost feel like this king, because they are so turned on by our single individual, they themselves would like to almost say, teach me how you did that. I'm really attracted to you. Yes, I want to start something with you, but at the same time, I want to learn from you. How do you do that? Maybe this king has been like very hot-headed most of their lives. King of Wands can be. And they they seem to have observed our character handle themselves with such grace that this person this king wants to be around her, the hermit. They may have been trying to be. You notice that this king was actually half made out of ice, and so was his bull, which is unusual. Only the only part of him that was thought out was his brain and his arms and his wand, right? I wonder if this king had been trying to gain a better like self-control or manage their emotions because they know that they're very fiery, and what they've seen in our lead character is you have all the skills to be defensive in the right way, meaning you have boundaries. It's not like you have to defend. It just means that you know how to conduct yourself. I need to learn that, and I'm very attracted to that, and it is something that I've been thinking long and hard about, is maybe I need to surround myself with people that I admire, people that I can see know how to handle that kind of conduct in a graceful manner. This is a character, this King of Wands really wants to be their best self, and I love the fact that they are interested in our lead character because of precisely that. I see you as somebody really special, and I would like to see more of that. I would like to see you and have you teach me some of this. We got an emperor. Oh, so this turned into romance pretty fast. We got an ace of swords, we got a page of swords, we got a 10 of wands. Yeah, they see our single person as someone who is not only very attractive, but someone who they want to walk beside them with that same level of grace. They know that they want to actually make a permanent change in their life. The Ace of Swords is cutting off the things that no longer suit them in order to become something better, something stronger. And with that Page of Swords, again, it's like, oh my God, with you in my life, there's so much I could learn from you just naturally. They feel like this character like soothes them, calms them, and teaches them how to be a better version of themselves. And they want that. That's different. We haven't had a storyline quite like that for our singles, where somebody is admiring our character for their strength to the point where that inspires them to want to be their best selves. But they feel like having our single character in their life is actually going to be what helps them achieve a better version of themselves. That's actually really cool. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you do enjoy the channel, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.